When it comes to the Caterpillar next generation excavators, you've got a lot of things to talk about with your customers. Up to 15% reduction in maintenance costs, up to 25% reduction in fuel burn, and up to 45% improvement in operator efficiencies. So when you get the opportunity to walk your customer around one of these machines, there's a few things that you really want to spend some time on and key on these features and benefits with them. The first thing we're going to talk about is the ground level depth service center. We open up this lid. There's the depth tank. You can see it's at ground level, very easy to fill. The industry standard blue cap, there you go. Nice feature on this depth tank is a sight glass on the side with a float, so we know exactly how much depth is in this tank. No risk of overfilling. We can also see if it's getting low visually. If you do overfill this depth tank, not a problem. There's a spill guard on the front here that'll catch any fluid that overfills, pushes it down through this tube out onto the tracks below. So there's no danger of spilling depth fluid on top of the sheet metal, which we all know is going to cause some rust problems going forward. Ground level depth service. Talk about this with your customers. The next area that you want to focus on is on the access point to the upper deck of the machine. You can see here we've got two good solid grab handles to maintain 3 points of contact. There's a stair welded on the track frame. There's another one on the other side of the machine as well, so it doesn't matter which way the car body is facing, you can climb up and down on the machine very safely. The fuel tank is a poly fuel tank, and by doing that they've been able to mold the steps into the tank to make it very nice and easy for the operator to climb up onto the top platform. Something you really want to key on with your customer. When it comes to refueling, they'll be able to stand firmly on the tracks and be able to fuel right here at the top of the poly tank without having any problems and maintaining 3 points of contact. Safety is the key here. It's a great feature. One of the features that your customer is going to really key on the next generation excavators is the back deck height and how it has been lowered over previous generations. When you go into the pump compartment, that's when you can start to talk to your customer about how we've been able to do that. The next generation excavators run on electro-hydraulic controls. So therefore we've been able to remove the pilot valve and all of the lines and filters associated with the pilot system from the pump compartment, which gives us quite a bit of space claim. You can see that we're using a different style of pump here, and we've been able to lower everything down and lower the emissions module down almost a foot, which in turn makes us able to drop the deck height. So you can start to talk about that stuff with your customer when you open up this compartment. The other things that you want to spend some time on in here is some of your daily maintenance checks. You can check the fuel water separator and drain it off right here. You can look over to the right here and there's a sight gauge for your hydraulic oil tank, so you can tell how much hydraulic fluid is in the machine. All of the test ports are here for the technicians to key into when they're doing their preventative maintenance at the 250, 500, or 1,000 hour intervals. And as well, one of the nice features on the next Gen Hex is the ability to check the oil in the engine from ground level. Make sure you key on that with your customer. You just pull out the dipstick and there it is. There's your oil check. Nice and easy, nice springy dipstick, slides in and out very simply. Make sure to highlight that with your customers. Another thing in this compartment that customers are going to like is there's a little tray here to put any grease tubes or a chain or a clevis or anything that you need to carry can go into there. So lots of stuff to talk about in this compartment. Make sure you spend a bit of time in here with your customers during your walk around. Make sure to climb up on top of the hood with your customer and open up the engine compartment. Show them inside the top of the engine and how nice and clean it is. We have a full service platform. It's easy to work on the top of this motor. Compare that to some of our competitors. You look in their machines, there's lots of stuff on top of their engines that needs to be removed before you can get down to the engine. The other nice thing that you want to really key on up here and show your customer is the electric fan cooling package. There are 5 electric fans in here which are fully programmable and reversible. That's a key feature. We can program these to zone cool as well, so we don't overcool certain components of the machine in different temperatures. So it gives us a lot of flexibility and a lot of adjustability. Also, the electric fans will reduce your fuel burn by almost 3% due to the less parasitic load on the engine, which would be caused by a hydraulic demand fan. Something that you really want to focus and show your customer, the electric zoned cooled fan package, okay? Make sure to talk about that. This also comes into play with the lower deck height. and what we talked about earlier with being able to lower the center of gravity of the machine. The electric fan package reduces that deck height and gives us that lower center of gravity and better visibility to the back of the machine. Talk about that with your customers. One of the areas we don't tend to focus on a whole lot when we're doing a walk around on an excavator is the counterweight. But when it comes to the next generation excavators, you should spend a couple of minutes talking about it. On the 323, it comes with an 11,500 pound counterweight standard. That's the old heavy counterweight on the old 320, but that comes standard on the 323. The 320 and the 320 GC have the 9,600 pound counterweight, which comes standard from the factory. But what you want to talk about mostly when you're talking about the counterweight is by reducing the height of the back deck by over a foot, bringing all that after treatment package and everything down lower, we've lowered the center of gravity of this machine, dropped it down, which gives it a little better back end weight and balance. So you want to talk about that with your customer. You also want to look at the integrated backup camera. A lot of times customers are worried about that backup camera getting scrubbed or whacked on a tree or something like that. This one is integrated and sunken into the counterweight. If it does happen to get damaged, very easy to replace. 4 hex screws and a pigtail cable. Pop it out, pop a new one in, literally minutes, and you can change out that camera. So it's a little feature that you may want to talk about with your customer. Talk about the counterweight. Spend a little bit of time with your customer in the cooling area. Show them the flat core rad design. Easy to clean out any debris in there. You can get in there very easily and clean out any kind of big sticks or anything that might get in there. Show them how you can check your coolant level. The shunt tank is right there. You can check the levels easily. Okay, and always make sure, talk about the wait to disconnect lamp for the Tier 4 engine. Remember, when that's lit, do not shut the master disconnect off. Always a good thing to remind your customers when you're doing your walkarounds. All right? Spend a bit of time in the cooling package. Another area you want to spend a little bit of time on with your customer is in the engine air cleaner. It's a new design, fully integrated with the pre-cleaner integrated right into the one unit system. We don't have a pre-cleaner up top anymore. This is going to help extend the service interval quite dramatically. Spend a bit of time here with your customer and show them how this is all put together. Your pre-cleaner's on the front. You've got your little dust ejector on the bottom to allow the dust out of the element on a daily basis. And then you can show them how it comes apart for ease of serviceability. Pre-cleaner just pops off nice and easy. Pull out the filter element. It's a CAT proprietary part. Has double the service life of today's air cleaners, okay? This is going to last a long time. It's going to extend their interval quite substantially. And then in behind that is the secondary air cleaner. Very easy to pull out. There it is. And that's all there is to the air cleaner elements. Talk about it with your customers. The new next generation excavators are designed with operator safety in mind. When you open up the cab door, the interior lights automatically turn on. One in the ceiling and one down here on the bottom of the seat to illuminate the floor. Nice safety feature for the operator on a dark morning. Also, the left-hand console tips up out of the way to make a greater width for the operator to get in and out of the cab more easily. Once he's seated in the seat, place this down and begin operation. Nice and easy and a lot more safe. The all-new operator seat in the next generation excavators was designed with comfort in mind. From the tilt-up left console, which allows a lot more room when you're getting in or out of the machine, to the multiple adjustment points within the seat itself. The armrests can be flipped up out of the way to access storage pockets. They can also be adjusted up and down very quickly and easily by the flick of a little switch on each side. The entire seat itself can be shifted forward with the sticks or backward. To adjust just the seat itself, down here, you can slide just the cushion ahead and the cushion back. So as you can see, multiple adjustments. There's also a nice little feature back here, that's your heat switch. The optional quick coupler switch is located on the left-hand console just behind the joystick. And on the right side, there is a series of buttons and jog dials to allow the operator to access the various functions within the monitor. There's also the keyless start switch located just behind the right-hand joystick. And never forget that all-important radio mute button. The standard 8-inch color touchscreen monitor in the next generation excavators provides the operator with everything he needs to get through the day. It has the integrated backup camera, it has an integrated Bluetooth radio, it has the payload and grade control systems all located on there, as well as the e-fence and assist functions. It can be activated via touch, or he can use the jog dials back here on the console in order to access the monitor. The new cab on the next generation excavators also has improved visibility. Larger windows and a lot more glass improve the sight lines to the back, the sides, and out through the front. With all that new improvements in the visibility and all that bigger glass, we've got a much improved HVAC system to keep it cool in the summer and warm in the winter. Also included inside the cab are lots of places for storage. We've got a cup holder up here for your coffee. There's a nice little spot over here for your phone or your MP3 player. There's little pockets over here for storage, and in the back behind the seat there's a great pocket to put your lunch pail.